Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another video. So far in this series, we've been talking about divorce really from the civil or the American perspective. But today I want to spend some time and talk about the different types of divorces that we have in Islam and how that intersects and interacts with the civil system. Because there's a lot of different issues that have not been fully discussed, talked about, and I don't know if we really have a solution at this time. And so the first type of divorce under Islamic law is called a talaq, right? And so this is a unilateral divorce where a man says, I divorce you, and that then triggers a 3-month period. In this 3-month period, the two individuals are supposed to stay in the same house, but they stay apart. And this is an opportunity for the individuals to reconcile. Okay, so if there's any act of intimacy, then it's as nothing happened, their nikah is back to normal, and they proceed with life. But during that reconciliation period, if they don't get back together, then they're quote unquote divorced. You might have heard about the 3 talaq rule, right? And basically that after 3 talaqs are given, then it becomes irrevocable. But really what's supposed to happen is that that reconciliation period is supposed to happen at least twice, right? You say talaq once, perhaps you reconcile, okay? Say talaq again, okay, perhaps you reconcile. Now it's the third one. At the third time, it becomes irrevocable, meaning that, okay, you guys have tried this out, it's not working, it's time for you guys to separate, right? It's kind of a built-in system. And we hear about people issuing, the triple three talaqs in one sitting. And, there's difference of opinion as to whether that's binding or not. But the point is that we're making a mockery of the system by not taking advantage of these reconciliation periods. The second type of divorce under Islamic law is called a Khula. Okay, and this is a bilateral divorce. And usually it's initiated by the spouse. And it's a conversation between a wife and her husband. And it can end up where the spouse or the wife says that I'm going to give up my meher, divorce me. As I was alluding to earlier, this is a bilateral divorce, meaning that the husband has to agree to the wife's proposition of a divorce. The third type of divorce is called Tafwid. Okay, and there's difference of opinion, there's a lot of gray here, but essentially it's a divorce where the husband has given the right to the wife to divorce him at any time. Okay, and this usually might take place in a nikah contract or in a prenuptial agreement where it's negotiated up front that both parties have the right to issue a divorce. Okay, so that's the third type of divorce under Islamic law. The fourth and final type of divorce under Islamic law is called a Faskh. Okay, and this is a judge, a Muslim judge who is going to dissolve the marriage. And usually it's going to be initiated by the wife. It's going to be based off of certain grounds. So grounds might include not being able to perform physically, not being able to provide financially, abandoning your family, and things like that. Now for the golden question, how does this impact us Muslims living in the West and interacting with this court system? Each one of these 3-4 types of divorce are very different from the way that divorce is handled in America. Because in America, what happens is that one party or the other is filing a piece of paper with the court system and sending that to the other party. Okay? And so let's talk about a few issues related to the husband filing for divorce in the Western civil system and the wife filing for divorce in the Western civil system. From the husband's perspective, there's a difference of opinion as to whether them filing the petition and giving the court the authority and the proxy to issue the divorce, whether that's valid or not. Okay? Some scholars will say that it is not valid, that it's a non-Muslim, it's not a proper proxy to issue the divorce. Others will say, no, you are giving this individual, the civil judge, the right to dissolve your marriage. So if the husband is filing for divorce in the civil system, like I said, it may count, it may not count. You would talk to your local scholar to figure that out. However, when the wife files for divorce, there's a very big problem, okay? Because as we talked about before, the two ways that a wife can initiate divorce would be through tafwid, meaning that that was negotiated at the time of entering into the marriage, or two, she submits her case to a Muslim judge who hears the grounds, finds the grounds, and dissolves their marriage. So a very, very big issue happens. If a wife files for divorce in the civil system, is she still married under Islamic law? And I think a lot of scholars will say yes, unless she receives a talaq from the husband at the end of the divorce, or unless she submits her case to a Muslim judge and the judge finds grounds for a dissolution. Other than that, she may still be married. And this goes back to the concern that I've been talking about is having these systems in place right now. I only know of maybe two or three locations that are actively taking these types of cases where the wife can file for divorce, and a judge can, find the grounds therefrom. And so, it's a very big issue. I think that our community needs to be educated about this. What kind of divorces there are, what the implications of each divorce are, what we should be negotiating perhaps at the time of marriage, and really kind of starting to understand the dichotomy between the civil system and the Islamic system. I know this didn't necessarily provide answers. I know it provided more questions, but I think, inshallah, by asking these questions and even knowing to ask these questions is, inshallah, beneficial. So if you stayed till the end, like the video, subscribe for future videos. Inshallah, until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.